Hey everyone, greetings from Rittenhouse Square, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, also known as the place where Rocky found out he was going to become a father in Rocky 2. I want to show you some of the top food spots, some of my personal favorites that are going to show you what a great mix of food you could find here in Philly. In this video, we'll eat our way through 5 different unique Philadelphia neighborhoods, from Chestnut Hill in the northwest to Cambodia Town in the southeast. We'll be trying some wood-fired pizza as well as coal-fired pizza in Rittenhouse Square. Then we'll be checking out Philly's oldest Italian restaurant, some say the oldest in the entire United States, before checking out a food hall up in the Chestnut Hill neighborhood, and we'll end our day in Philly's tallest building. When I'm in Philly, I prefer to stay in the Rittenhouse Square neighborhood. And if you're looking to start your day at a coffee shop while doing some people watching in one of downtown Philly's most exclusive neighborhoods, I recommend choosing Grand Café L'Aquila. The Philadelphia subway is the 3rd oldest in the country, and for $2.50, you could ride from the stadium to North Philly on the Broad Street line. All right, I'm here with Bin Nguyen from Visit Philly. She's the local, and we're here. Where are we at?
We are at New World Plaza in the heart of South Philadelphia in a neighborhood distinctly known as Little Saigon, which is comprised of a large Vietnamese population here. And today we're at a new cafe in the neighborhood.
Le Vien, right?
Yes, Le Vien Cafe, opened about 2-3 months ago.
Okay, so that means summer 2024.
Yes, exactly.
So we were talking earlier, you said you're having the same drink that you had
Yes.
last time you were here.
Yeah, so when they first had opened, I came in to check it out, and they highly recommended the orange green tea because they hand press and hand squeeze their oranges here. So I get that, and I get it with a little less sugar, so it's not as sweet, and I put lychee jelly in there. This is what it looks like.
Okay, and what did I get? The salted foam coffee with coffee jelly, which I'm actually saving this for the camera.
Yeah. Okay, cheers. Your
Cheers.
first try.
All right. It's sweet. It's strong. And it's going to keep me awake for a good day, rest of a day exploring Philly.
Yes. Have you ever had coffee with jelly in it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Probably at Vietnamese places in Houston comes to mind.
That's right.
Bel Air Boulevard, that area. I know I've probably had it there.
I love that. I love having extra texture in my drinks.
And while Vietnamese iced coffee and bubble tea are pretty much available in any city nowadays, to really get a feel for Little Saigon in South Philly, you have to go to a Vietnamese bakery. Right now it's the middle of the afternoon, and Ba Lea, you can see there's a line, and people are standing in line to get different things like banh mi and other baked goods. And these are some of the pre-made items, like banh gao, cha hue, nam nong, cha chien. I hope I'm pronouncing these correctly, but you have a lot of different things. Chicken thigh, I'm familiar with that. And of course, blood sausage. And here are some of the sweet drinks you can get. This says mayonnaise. I think that's different from the mayonnaise that a lot of people growing up in the West are used to, but these are tapioca looking drinks. And then this is probably a sago or pudding or something like that. And I'm told that this bread is what's used in a lot of bakeries in the area. You could buy a bag. Now, I've had banh mi from Boise to Bethlehem, but I've never had a chance to actually see it being done kind of in the back of the house. So I'm watching one of the chefs here put a couple orders together. Basically, they're all being filled with carrot daikon, cilantro, cucumber, and jalapeno for the most part. Cucumber and jalapeno. And I believe the difference between traditional French bread and the Vietnamese version is it's a little bit lighter, maybe more crispy on the ends. Come on. Wing Fat Plaza is between 11th and 12th Street along Washington Avenue. And of the two Vietnamese plazas along Washington, this is the bigger of the two. It's also the first one I ever visited. So Pho 75, you may have seen Anthony Bourdain's Philly episode where he ate here. And I also ate here the first time I was in the area. Highly recommend the pho. And Sky Cafe is a very casual Indonesian restaurant that also has a location of the same name in Elmhurst, Queens. And you can find everything here, from gift shops, a lot of bubble tea. You could also get a foot massage or, I don't know, pedicure, whatever you can get done there. Also, that flag that you see flying up here, that is the flag of South Vietnam. The intersection of South 7th and Jackson is the heart of South Philly's Cambodia Town. These businesses have been here for at least a decade. The ones that I first discovered when I came here in 2016 are generally still here. So just on this one block, you have a supermarket, you have a jewelry store, you also have a bridal shop, which you know you have a pretty big presence in a community when you have your own bridal shop. Here's another restaurant, Hang Seng. I first discovered I Heart Cambodia back in 2016 when I wrote a little profile of this neighborhood, and it's still one of my go-to spots when I'm in this part of South Philly. So Cambodian music playing on the TV, and then there's a cooking show on the TV off to the left. Very casual in here, as is most of the neighborhood. How going? Last time I was here, I got the fried tilapia. This time I'm having the somlor korku. So this is a stew with pumpkin, also has papaya in it, and eggplant. So I like all the ingredients. It's not gonna be overly spicy from what I remember. I had this in Massachusetts, I know. So I'm looking forward to trying this one. The soup is very mild. It's a good entry-level dish if you've never been to a Cambodian restaurant before, even more so than the popular dishes like, let's say, beef lok lok, definitely prahok, or the other one that's really popular is lot cha. But the biggest surprise about this one is the green papaya. I've never had green papaya in a soup before. I'm used to having it raw in a salad. Market at the Fairway is located off of a quaint cobblestone street in the Chestnut Hill section of Philadelphia. There are a handful of vendors, and it's also easy to access by public transit. The market is open Thursday to Sunday. There's a brewery on site, and then these are the names of some of the vendors. The pizza's made by Chestnut Hill Brewing Company, and brewing is done right on site. I could tell there's going to be a lot of Asian food here. We have Korean tacos, Indian curry, and momo. If you follow my channel for a while, you'll know that those are my second favorite dumplings in the world. I'm going to start with momo and a bowl of pho. Every Southeast Asian restaurant has sriracha. So I got the pho thai chin. So the meat is sliced very thin. It's a leaner meat as well. So now I'm trying the momo. They're not steamed. These are pan fried, and they're on the larger side. They come with a spicy sauce, which I didn't try, but I tried it with a little bit of soy sauce they came with. By the way, the place behind me is Southern Flames. So if you're into barbecue, I would try that place. Between the two things I tried, I have to say I give the edge to the momo. Nice and warm, nice and crispy because they were probably pan fried. Also, just a little bit of soy sauce gave them a little extra flavor. I'm gonna have to go with the momo here. Made by Me is the market's chocolate boutique. And since Philadelphia and southeastern PA is pretzel country, first thing I'm gonna try is a dark chocolate pretzel. The chocolate's not overly sweet, but the pretzel's nice and crunchy. By the way, they come from Hanover Township, which is outside Bethlehem. These are the truffles, and I am going to try this one, the white chocolate lemon drop. I'm sure this one's going to be sweeter. All right, the white chocolate lemon curd ganache makes that one the clear winner. I mean, coming from Pennsylvania, I appreciate pretzels, but you definitely have to try the truffles first. Pizzeria Vetri has 4 locations in the greater Philadelphia area. I've been to the one up, I believe it's on Spring Garden. Now I'm at the Rittenhouse Square location, which opened around 2017, I believe. So I'm starting off with the one I always start off with, the margarita. Just a couple observations. Crust very soft on the bottom, but puffy at the ends. And I'm going to take my first bite. The dough is super soft. What stands out the most on this pie is the sauce. I would say they put a little bit of, I believe, cracked pepper on it before they brought it over to the table. Other than that, it's a little bit tangy, but not too much. Great balance overall. If you're like me and you don't make it down to Philly as often as you'd like to, Vetri does pizza kits for the pepperoni and the margarita, which is what I'm having. So I'm most interested in the sauce to the point where I'd buy some to take home if that was an option. And I guess it is if you have the pizza kit. I know the tomatoes come from Italy and the mozzarella is local. That comes from DeBruno Brothers. You might know it from the Italian market, but they also have a location just a couple blocks from here in Rittenhouse Square. I believe it's a proprietary special blend that they just make for Vetri, but I'm planning on getting some before I go home. Now, I'm not sure if this is the exact mozzarella that they use on the margarita, but I want to take some home and try it anyway. And I'm also going to get a jar of their tomato basil sauce as well to go. Yeah. Now I'm at Pietro's, Rittenhouse Square. I was not familiar with this place, but when I was walking back to my hotel from the park last night, I was walking past a couple people that had the margarita on their tables. This is coal-fired, so that means the crust is a little firmer on the outside, still kind of soft below. So the crust is super thin, really crispy on the outside. The sauce stands out the most on this one. A little bit tangy. I like the mozzarella too. And by the way, I chose this seat because there's a Rocky poster right above my head. The Paul and Francis Giordano sign was in the opening part of Rocky Balboa. So this is where he comes in the movie. He has a restaurant and he buys some of his produce here. The business is 103 years old, but it's not the oldest business on 9th Street. And speaking of Rocky, the wedding from Rocky II took place here at St. Thomas Aquinas Catholic Church. Between Washington and Christian Streets along South 9th, you'll find fruit vendors lined all along the sidewalk. It's even busier on weekends. And here's one of those blink and you'll miss it murals marking 9th Street and showing you some of the different vendors here. Leave a comment. How do you feel about beef tongue and tripe? Andrew Zimmern had it here at George's, but the places across the street are more my speed, like Anthony's Italian Coffee House and Gelateria. The Piazza di Bruno is across the street from the Visitor Center, and this is where you could really come on a weekend to kind of get the pulse of the Italian market and the whole neighborhood. And there's a landmark right behind my head that explains the whole area. And the wall ahead had a Frank Rizzo mural. Up until a few years ago, it was painted over. You might remember Villa Roma from The Irishman. So the storefront was shot for the movie, but the scenes were filmed in New Corner in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. DeBruno Brothers has been here since 1939. They now have another location in Rittenhouse Square. The intersection of South 9th and Fitzwater is very important when it comes to Italian food in South Philly. So Angelo's Pizzeria is relatively new, but when they're open, there's usually a line around the block. There's about an hour wait. You can call ahead. I've heard they don't always answer the phone, but it's takeout only and some of the best pizza in Philly from what I hear. I even had a guy suggest it from North Carolina. Farther down the block is Sarcone's Bakery, which dates back to 1918, only to be outdone by Ralph's Italian Restaurant, which has its own historical marker as it dates back to 1900. The claim is that it's the oldest family-owned Italian restaurant in the United States. So I've been wanting to try Ralph's for a long time. It's now in its fourth and fifth generation. I know there's the Ralph's famous Parmesan, but I asked around a little bit, see if that's what I should in fact order, and everyone pretty much said yes. So here it is. Not getting any sides because I've been eating all day. This looks pretty big, but it is thinly chopped. And if you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that I always kind of test an Italian restaurant by how I like the red sauce. So here we go. All right, it's super crispy. I would say the sauce does stand out the most on this. Nice balance of sweet and salty. At 1,121 feet, the Comcast Technology Center is the tallest building in Philadelphia. Take the elevator up to the 60th floor, and that's where the Four Seasons is, as well as a Jean-Georges restaurant. Even if you're not staying at the Four Seasons, this is an excellent place to take in the views and end a day eating around Philly. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe. I got more trips coming up soon. I'm going to be heading down to South Walton, Florida. I also have a trip planned to Fort Lauderdale. I'm going to be going on my first ever Holland America cruise. Also heading down to Oklahoma City, and then I'm going to be doing my first trip ever to Greenville, South Carolina, and then I'm going to be returning to Cleveland after more than a decade. I hope you get to come to Philly, check out some of the places you saw in this video, and I look forward to sharing more videos with you soon.